Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of Compassion and Courage Conversations in Healthcare. I am your host, Marcus Engel. I've got my hostess, Marveline, with me.
Hi.
And this is the podcast where we teach compassionate communication, provide perspective, and inspire resilience. Well, today we are going to talk about several of those things because we've had some big life changes around here. And some of the story is sad, some of it's very happy, some of it is exciting. And I feel like I just need to go ahead and give you the facts of the matter. And that is that on December 1st, my seeing-eye dog, James, who's been with me for the last 2 years, James retired on December 1st. Typically, my dogs work 6, 7, 8 years, and James only worked for 2. And it ultimately came down to, we figured out that he was just not real happy being a service dog. And there were some things that in working and non-working behaviors that ultimately we realized that he was just going to be a better pet than a dog, after a seeing-eye dog. And after a lot of evaluation and a lot of discussion, a lot of tears, we made the decision for James to retire. Now, James is happy. He is healthy. He is still his excited, exuberant, silly self, but he is no longer my seeing-eye dog. And this was a tough transition, right? I've always known that early retirement is a possibility, but I kind of never thought it would happen to me. And so here we are. I went through all of the emotions that you go through upon a retirement and maybe even some new ones. But ultimately, I knew that even though James retired, I knew that I would be seeking out another dog, a replacement dog. And I expected to have to wait for this dog for months and months. However, just soon after retiring James, I was contacted by the CNI saying that they thought they had a dog for me. Could I come in January? Now, I try not to miss out on opportunities. So I said, I guess I can come, but it was with a lot of trepidation. My heart really hadn't, quote unquote, healed from the experience at that point. And I guess I was just thinking that I needed a little more time to process what had happened before I got a new one. But hey, life sometimes doesn't always give us what we want. And so I have to remember that James, while he was my seeing eye dog, he's kind of everybody's dog too, right? Marveline, he's your dog as well. He's in the family.
He is
He
a
was a
family
family
member.
member. Yeah. And so I know that there was a little part of me that felt guilty about retiring him just because I knew that my family members would miss him. I was going to miss him. But I ultimately
Indeed.
knew it was going to be the best thing for him. And so that decision was made. Now, where do we pick up the story? Well, we pick up the story that on January 6th, I made the journey back to the CNI to receive my new dog. And we are going to introduce her today and talk about her today. And I already gave you one clue that this is a her, that my new dog is a she. And after having 5 male dogs in a row, I'm turning into a girl dad. And I don't even really know what that means, but because she's a girl, it reminds me to be more gentle with her and patient with her. And I think that probably makes me a little bit better person. I don't know if you can notice that I'm more patient and gentle lately, honey. Here's where you
Depends
kick
on
in
the
and say,
day.
absolutely. But her name is Winter. Her name is Winter, which is very fitting since number 1, I got her in January, and number 2, because she is chill. Winter is such a chill dog. She is She's very curious, and she is a smart dog. She's a thinker. Whenever we are doing work together, you can see the little mouse wheel spinning in her brain about, hey, do I go left or right around this obstacle, or how far back should I show Marcus where this obstacle is? You can just see her going through her mental processes, and it's cool. It's cool to see her brain working like that. So Winter is not only my first female, she is also my first chocolate lab. So she is a beautiful chocolate lab, black nose. We'll have some pictures of her on the website and on the newsletter, which is going to be going out at the same time too. So you're going to get to see pictures of Winter in winter while we were training in New Jersey. So here we are. She's my first chocolate. She's my first girl. And Winter is petite, and I am not. So Winter is a smaller lab. Instead of a big monster lab, 80 or 100 pounds, no, that would be too big of a seeing eye dog. But most of my dogs have been around 60 to 70 pounds. Winter weighs in at a cool 51 pounds, and she is 21 inches tall. There were dogs in our class that were 20 pounds bigger than Winter and 6 inches taller. And you may ask the question, well, a big dog, wouldn't you match up a big dog with a big guy? Wouldn't I probably get the biggest dog in the class? And while you would think that, that's not exactly correct, because what is measured is a pace and pull, a dog's pace and how hard they pull in the harness. Winter is a fast walking dog. She is plenty fast for me, and she's got enough pull in the harness too that I know that there is a strong dog at the end of that harness. So the pace and pull of Winter, even though she's smaller, is I think, a great match for me. What it means really doesn't mean too much, other than I have a handle on her harness that is a little longer than the handles of my previous dogs. And that hopefully protects her feet a little bit more too when we are out walking around. So, what am I leaving out at the moment, my dear? What
Well,
else have I forgotten to include?
why don't you just real briefly, I know you touched on it, but first I'm going to throw in here, James was such a big presence. I
Yeah.
mean, he would not allow you to ignore him. He was there and ready to party. It was such a joy, and it was just, heart-wrenching to make that decision, for him to go on to his next fabulous life and make another family have a wonderful Christmas present. But going from that to Winter, who is extremely quiet and demure, and just her personality
Chill.
is so different, that it's been an adjustment, and the grief in between. We typically get a period of grieving, mourning between dogs, where we just kind of, process all the emotions that dog lovers have. We all have those too. And the dog travels with you, goes with you, is with us all the time. So, it really is like a part of the family. And I know all you pet lovers are going to understand that. So it was such a quick turnaround that it was a little, neck neck jerking.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
that word? It
yeah.
was one.
I'm
It's
not
that
sure
feeling.
exactly.
Whiplash. It was a little whiplash. Um, and I know, because I was here, but there was no guarantee you were going to get Winter when you left to go to school. And talk about how long you stay at school and that process just a little bit.
Yeah, so because I am what is called a retrain is a person who has previously had a guide dog and is coming back for a replacement dog. You've got newbies, new people, and then retrains. And as a retrain, I have to be in New Jersey training with my dog for just shy of 3 weeks. People who are there for their first dog stay just shy of a month. And I right, there were no guarantees. There were no guarantees that whenever I got there that there could have been an issue. I had no idea that I would actually come home with a dog. That's the intended goal, but things happen. Things happen. I've been in class with 20 other people before, and have had two, three, four people have to drop out of class for various reasons. And in this class, I believe there was 20 students from everywhere from, oh gosh, California to Florida to Michigan to New York. There was people from all over the country in our class. And and of the 20 of us, no, we had no dropouts. We had no dropouts. We had no dog changes. And I thought we're a really good class together. And I hope that that kind of culture and that kind of tradition is what's set in with winter. Is that this is a good place to be. It's a good place to be here at our house. It's a good place to be with me as her master. And we're going through the bonding process. I feel in some ways like I have bonded faster with Winter than I did with any of my previous other dogs. And part of it's just she is so chill. She just wants to sit by you and be petted. She's not demanding. She's not anything except just everything a CNI dog should be. And I hope that you all will get to meet her out on the road. Or if you're coming to Orlando, let me know. Maybe we can set up a play date with you and my dog.
And we are still going through that. When you first come home with her, there's a set of rules with any dog, not
Absolutely.
just her, but I mean, coming home with a new one. So talk about those rules because they are very painful to me personally.
Yeah. So one of the rules is whenever I got home, I had to keep Winter on a leash by my side 24/7 for 2 weeks. And this is to not only increase the bond and kind of force you to bond together, but it's also to, the dog isn't getting into any kind of things they shouldn't be. Winter's a totally new dog. She could be fascinated by something in our house that other dogs just haven't paid any attention to, but she's shown just precious little desire to get into things or to chew on things or mess anything up. She's just chill. She's just chill. So during that first 2 weeks that she's up by my side, there's another rule that's harder to abide by. And that is that Winter gets no attention from anybody except from me during that 2 week time span. And that was also the same at the CNI. Other than my trainer, Winter's trainer, there was no one else giving her any kind of attention. And that again is to increase that bond between dog and person. That bond will continue to be built for, well, bonding is kind of one of those things that you never really have enough of it, right? You could never really have enough bonding and with the dog and with your family. And so that bonding process will continue, but they really say it takes a good 6 months before you are truly a well oiled machine working with that dog. Sometimes it can even take longer. I expect Winter and I to be a lot more in line for the bonding process and for falling into place together than I think with any of my previous dogs. Again, because she's just so chill and she wants to please. She wants to do it right.
It's easy to watch when you do different training exercises with her, how she is like, she reminds she reminds me of me being on the front. I sit on the front row. I want an A+. I'm going to get all the answers. I want all the extra credit. She loves to get it right. And
Mm.
you see that just in how she does her training exercises. And I will say, from my own sake, because this is all about me, um, knowing you are fixing to come home with a brand new pup, and we love animals around here,
Still stressful.
and knowing that we don't get to sit down and cuddle them and rub their ears and see how soft they are. And really, we don't even look at them because they've explained staring at a dog can make the dog uncomfortable. So we just kind of pretend like they're a non entity. And on the inside, we're jumping up and down, going, please, 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 I want to pet you so bad. Um, but she's already clearly yours. I mean, you make a move and she's on it. She's watching you all the time. But the part of the word, you keep saying bonding, but I think part of it I would describe as where you click and you almost read each other's mind when you're working together. You
Yeah.
both know what each other's movements indicate, which takes a process. The dogs have been trained the procedure, you've been trained the procedure, but doing it together, we all do it a little different. You want to know how your surgeon works so that you can be a good surgical assistant if that's your job, whatever it is. You want to know how they work together so that you can become that well-oiled machine. And it's going well with her, and we're very hopeful, and we keep saying how great it is that she's calm. We do miss James's boisterous joy that he brought into our lives, and he did so much joy. Um, but
I,
it's a
I'm personally
different.
liking having a smaller dog though too, because she fits under an airline seat easier.
I was just going to ask you about that. So it's different because working with her as a team is different because the harness is different, etc. But it's probably easier traveling in general with her at your feet because she is 20 pounds lighter, etc., than many of the dogs that you've had. So that's going to be interesting. And she did actually have her very first gig.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We actually, just a few days after Winter and I returned from New Jersey, she had her very first time on stage, and it was such a sweet opportunity. We have a neighbor who is a teacher at a private Christian school here in Orlando, and she invited me to come and share a message with the students for chapel. And so Winter and I got to go and be part of the kids' chapel service. And she did such a fabulous job around the kids. All the kids were super respectful. None of them came up rushing her, wanting to pet her. This is where I really, really love it whenever I'm out in public or something and there's a kid that says, hey, it's a service dog, don't pet it, mom. When the kids know the rules better than the parents do, it makes me happy. It makes me happy. And all those kids were so respectful. And Winter did a great job on stage, being in front of, 100 kids with their with their anxious hands waving in the air and their questions. And she just did such a fabulous job, just being chill.
She did, and they were that third to fifth grade, I think, range, and there was a bunch of them, and the energy in the room was so high, and she was just like, "Okay, I got
I
this.
got this.
I got
I got
this."
this.
And she had only been home like a couple of days, so that was fascinating. She is loose, and I get to pet her occasionally now, and that's super fun. And she loves, if I'm in bed, to come up and put her nose on my nose for just a minute. And then she trots off to find out what you're doing.
Yep.
So, so she's really adorable. We're still getting to see her personality. And all of your dogs have had such distinctive personalities that they've earned nicknames based on their personality. Like, you know, we called Elliot Ninja because he would jump up on the countertop and grab steak off and not make a single sound. He was very sneaky. He was
Every
adorable.
dog earns their nickname, and Winter will earn a nickname too at some point. But right
She
now,
will. You
right
do refer to
now,
her as Winnie right now,
I do call her Winnie.
occasionally.
I think that's short for Winter. I think that's cute. So you might hear Winnie being tossed around a little bit.
You might hear Winnie, and she will eventually have a personality-based nickname, and
Mm.
we're excited to see what that is. And absolutely follow social media. I do want to say, if you follow our service dog page on Instagram, it's right now called James DeWalkafella, which is hilarious if you think about it. It's so fun. But if you already follow that one, don't worry, we'll change the name, but all of those old pictures will be there and you don't have to sign up for anything new. But to see pictures, the first pictures of Winter, be sure that you're checking out Instagram or Facebook, because that's where they're going to be. You're going to get to see her in her beautiful, covered in snow. I guess it was like 2 degrees up there where you were training,
It really
and
was.
also in Times Square. So
Yeah,
that's super fun. Check those out. We'll keep pictures on social media and her antics as they become available.
absolutely. We'll keep you updated on what's going on with Winter. So Winter is coming, but she's already here.
Winter is here.
Winter is
And
here.
I'm such a big nerd. I have wanted to say Winter is coming from the second I heard her name. So that's if you know, you know. If you don't, ask a nerd.
Winter is coming. All right. Well, winter is here, and we are glad that you have been here with us on this episode of Compassion and Courage Conversations in Healthcare. I realize this didn't have a whole lot of healthcare basis today, but it is a big life change for us, and we thought it was worth devoting some time to. So, thank you for being with us. And again, if there are any keynote speaking needs that your hospital, your healthcare system, your facility has, please feel free to reach out via marcusengel.com for keynote speeches, compassion consulting, books, etc., etc. Thank you
And
all
if we
so much
didn't
for being
answer
here.
a question, I'm sorry, babe, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine.
If we didn't answer a question that you have about how this process works, absolutely email Mark. We can either mention it here, we'll mention it on social media, or he'll respond to you privately. But it is, it's a whole thing that just this
It's a big
process.
process, and I can't really explain it in the time of of a podcast. So, but yeah, if you have any kind of questions, please feel free to reach out. And can I just throw this out there too? If you are in Pennsylvania or New Jersey, um, and you have any love of dogs, please consider being a puppy raiser for the CNI. These are the individuals who take the dogs for a couple of years before people like me get them, and teach them all their basic obedience and teach them how to be good service dogs. And then they come back to the school to learn how to guide. But they desperately need puppy raisers. And I am so, so, so grateful for the puppy raisers, all 6 of my puppy raisers now. I just could not be any more thankful for the efforts that you've made and the sacrifices that you've made for people like me. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So thank you again for being with us on this episode of Compassion and Courage, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye.